Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We have a lot to yap about, but before we get into this yap session, make sure you guys smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you are new, we on the road to 25K, and I appreciate all the support along the way. If you want to support the channel, you can head over to buymeacoffee.com. You can find me over there as well at Jay the Yapper 1. You can also become a member. If you want to become part of the Yap family, head over to the YouTube profile. You'll see it says become a member, and you can do that as well if you want to support the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. We have Miss Allie Beth Stuffy, as Baron Coleman would say. Miss Allie Beth has been sent out by the widow, I'm assuming, to debunk different theories. And TPUSA typically does this every couple of weeks. They'll randomly send an influencer out to just make a whole video of debunking theories versus Erica coming out speaking for herself versus Andrew Covett or Blake Neff. All of these people that hold a little bit more weight to the conversation, they don't come out and do it themselves. They send out their little minions, Shalami soldiers, widow warriors to come out and do their dirty work for them. And God bless Allie Beth Stuckey, or my fault. I think it's Stuckey, right? Stuffy, no, I think it's Stuckey. It's Stuckey. Baron got me confused by him saying Stuffy. But God bless Allie Beth Stuffy because okay, I guess she's just gonna be Allie Beth Stuffy from now on. God bless her because TPUSA has sent her out into the wolves, into the forest to fend for herself. And she has made a debunking video of her debunking all these different claims from the prelim, from people bringing up different theories, and it is a disaster. Okay, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's see all the different things she brings up. Let's see all the different things that she tries to educate us on, including ballistics. So Allie Beth, take it away, please.
Okay, so here's one claim that I've been seeing circulating. The suspect's limp shifts from one leg to the other in the surveillance video that we showed. That was allegedly Tyler Robinson putting his rifle in his pant leg to conceal it and walking down the stairwells or walking up the stairwell on UVU's campus. Some people are saying that the limp shifts in one shot from one leg to the other. So this is what I would say to this. The purpose of faking a limp would be to allegedly hide the weapon. On a flight of stairs, he would have to favor the specific leg.
Right. The purpose of faking a limp. I don't think I had any questions on why somebody would limp, but thank you, Allie Beth. You educate. I'm learning a lot. I need to get my notepad and learn because I just had no idea. Right? They already said Tyler Robinson had a rifle in his pants. I would imagine, right, if I put two and two together, that's why he's probably trying to fake a limp, or maybe he's really limping. So I don't really think I need an education or a lesson on the purpose of a limp.
Could bend less on flat ground where he could more easily walk without bending the other leg. He might switch which leg he was bending in order to appear to be limping. It's also been shown that you are actually able to bend your leg even if you had this kind of rifle in your pant leg. So it is possible that he switched legs. He tried to change things up.
That's what happened. It's not about if it's possible or not. He showed us that it was possible. we don't need a lesson on this, okay? It happened. So clearly it's possible.
Forgot which leg he was trying to bend. The limp is not necessarily because the rifle was in that pant leg. The limp was probably to hide the weapon altogether. And so he was limping around and he could have forgotten, and he could have, because he was lying.
You just said the same thing.
And he to hide because the rifle leg he was trying to bend. Possible that he switched legs. He tried to change things up. He forgot which leg he was trying to bend. The limp is not necessarily because the rifle was in that pant leg.
The limp is not because necessarily the rifle was in that pant leg.
The limp was probably to hide the weapon altogether.
That was in that pant leg.
And so he was limping around and he could have forgotten, and he could have, because
the limp was not because the rifle was necessarily in his pant leg. The limp could have just been because the rifle was in his pant leg and he was trying to hide it. It gets better. It gets better.
He was lying. He could have switched legs. And that alone, even if that is a question of like, why would he switch legs? That does not discount all of the evidence that has been put forth and even the testimony of people like Lance Twiggs about the.
No. Don't change the topic. Don't change the topic. We're talking about the pant leg. And it's not that it discounts. Well, it kind of does discount it. But the point is that they said that he had a rifle in those skinny jeans, right? That's already going to kind of be hard to prove that this skinny man had a rifle in his skinny jeans and it left zero prints in his pants, zero prints in his shirt. If the rifle were to come up in his armpit or somewhere, there's no prints of a rifle. So if they're saying that the rifle was on his right side and that's why his right leg is stiff, right? I don't know if it was left or right, but just follow me. If the rifle was on his right side and that's why he's limping, but then he ends up stiffening the left leg, that's an issue because is there a rifle in there at all? That's the problem, okay? But Allie Beth is not educated on, I don't know, looking at film, looking at security footage, reading body language, reading. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I just don't understand why she doesn't understand what the argument is. I can't even really break it down from her perspective. I lose brain cells trying to relate with her right now.
The veracity of the identity of the person in this surveillance video. It's also just important to note that the defense team, when watching the surveillance footage, they had the opportunity to say, hey, look at that. That's a changing limp, or that's a bent leg. That obviously isn't him, because then they would be saying, what, this is like a fake person limping and forget, like it, that would be a whole different theory that they would be pushing into. And they didn't do that. They didn't say.
They love to do that. It's funny how that side of the aisle will always bring up what the defense is doing as if the prosecution couldn't have a weak argument, right? So instead of maybe looking at your side and staying on that side, stop worrying about what the other side doing. Stop worrying about, well, the defense didn't argue it. The defense could be tripping. They could be, right? There's a side to that where the defense could be tripping. And maybe that doesn't mean that it makes it right, though. Let's think for yourself here, right? Everybody is not a 100% perfect human being. Secondly, the defense doesn't need to argue every little thing in the prelim. That's something that that side tried to educate us on. Y'all don't know how the law works, blah, 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 all this other stuff. Everybody thinks that they're a lawyer. Well, look what y'all are saying right now. Me watching TV, right? Law and Order, all these little different things, First 48. I know more than what this lady is talking about right now at this moment. If you're going to bring to trial this pant leg argument of him limping down the stairs and you're telling me there's a rifle in there, I'm not going to argue it because I'm just going to beat it in trial when the trial happens. The preliminary hearing is not for the defense to come out and argue every single point the prosecution makes, or else that means the prosecution is going to know that angle and then have more time, half a year to a year of preparation to prepare for that counter argument that the defense already presented at the prelim. That would be stupid. The prelim is for probable cause. Let's see what the prosecution has that the judge can say, I can see why y'all arrested him. I can see why we need to argue about this in court. There are too many things going on in the case for probable cause to argue every little thing. It's probably going to go to trial, okay? That's the whole point of the prelim. That's why the defense is not going to argue every single point. So I cannot stand when these people come up and say, the defense didn't say anything about that. The defense, okay, bro. Okay.
Hey, look at that changing limp, or look at that bent leg. And if they thought that would help their client, then they would have presented that, and they didn't.
No, it would hurt their client, because if they brought that up and tried to argue it, then they would give the prosecution time to come up with something else that the defense wouldn't even know what the angle is for, and now they have to argue it in court on the spot.
Another claim is that the bullet did not match the rifle. The Daily Mail ran a story on March 30th with the headline, "The bullet used to kill Charlie Kirk did not match the rifle allegedly used by the suspect," new court filing claims. However, the report was actually inconclusive, And it is incorrect to say that the bullet did not match the rifle. It is very common when the fragments are reportedly too small or too deformed after a shooting to allow for a clear answer. So the report will say inconclusive. This does not mean that they didn't match the rifle. According to a 2022.
So you're gonna read to me right now? That's what this is. You see what I'm saying? They sent her out to do. She don't even want to do this. She don't even want to do. She's not even enjoying this right now. She has no passion in this. She's reading from a script. Now she's reading her notes on what inconclusive means. She's going to find different reportings in different cases where an inconclusive reading happened and yada, yada, yada. But like, what are we doing right now? You're supposed to be passionately trying to get us to understand your side, not just bringing out paper and reading it to me.
Study, examiners found inconclusive results in about 20% of cases like this. According to Christopher Ballard, a spokesperson for the Utah County Attorney's Office.
That's a terrible thing to bring up. Just a random percentage, random data or data, wherever you're from, how y'all say it, to just say, yeah, 20% of cases come up with inconclusive readings. Okay, and out of those 20 cases, were any of those 30-06 cases where the ballistics involved a 30-06, a human being shot with a 30-06? That drastically changes the percentage because it probably goes from 20% to 0 or maybe 0.1. So why would you just bring up a general reporting of 20% of cases, all cases, involve inconclusive readings? That doesn't help your argument because now we have to narrow down all the different specific cases and see, is it similar to this one? If it's not, then it doesn't, that percentage means nothing.
Office and part of the prosecution team, and for Ballard, a spokesperson for the Utah, 20% of cases like this. According to Christopher Ballard, a spokesperson for the Utah County Attorney's Office and part of the prosecution team, an inconclusive result from bullet fragment analysis does not mean that the rifle did not fire the bullet. Another.
You didn't want to bring up the part that the canines could not find a recently fired rifle at the crime scene, right? That allegedly Tyler Robinson hid in the woods. Did you throw that in there into your percentage of why the canines couldn't find a recently fired rifle? It's almost like she only cares about what the feds are pushing, the original narrative. She doesn't care about, they're talking about the facts of the case. They don't talk about anything that hurts their narrative. If it hurts their narrative, they don't even talk about it. But if it supports their narrative, then that's the only thing they want to come out there and try to push down everybody's throats.
Their claim is that it's not possible that a 30-06 round would not have produced an exit wound because we've heard from the beginning there was no exit wound.
Exit? That's not how you say that.
Another claim is that it's not possible that a 30-06 round would not have produced an exit wound because we've heard from the beginning there was no exit wound in the body.
Listen, I know I'm country, right? I'm from the South. I'm not saying exit though, like exit. You feel what I'm saying? There's no exit wound. EGG, ZIT, exit. Like, what are you talking about?
Body of exit wound because we've heard from the beginning there was no exit wound in the body of Charlie Kirk, that his neck actually stopped the bullet from the beginning. There have been people saying that's not possible. That just makes this all kind of a conspiracy.
Let's hear those percentages. You got some percent. Let's hear those percentages this time, Allie Beth. Let's hear those. Like, I'm sure you got a report, right? Let's hear your ballistics 101 from Allie Beth Stuckey.
For example, one person said on X, a 30-06 goes through 3 cast iron pans, but somehow produces no exit wound in Charlie Kirk's neck. Many online claims assume that every 30-06 always exits, which is incorrect. Court evidence and forensic testimony identified the ammunition as a soft point. So that's a big game hunting bullet.
Okay, game hunting is talking about animals. Okay.
Always exits, which is incorrect. Court evidence and
I want to go back to when she said it's incorrect right quick.
There's no exit wound in Charlie Kirk's neck. Many online claims assume that every 30-06 always exits, which is incorrect.
Okay, so if you're gonna say it's incorrect that all 30-06 exit, that's weird how she said it. All 30-6s have an exit wound, then you are going to have to bring data to the table, facts to the table, present something that proves that a 30-6 has gone through a human and not gone through a human, lodged inside of a human. You have to bring that to the table instead of just saying it's incorrect. They love to bring up MLK in all of these rare cases, right? Where even in those cases, it hit bone first, right? MLK went through here, out, back in, lodged in his shoulder. That's a lot of bone, jawbone. It hit first, and then it went through, came out. So it had an exit wound, and it went back in here, right? So when it comes right here, it should go all the way through. But you're gonna have to bring that to the table. Don't just say it's incorrect, and then you don't bring anything to support your claim. Now she's gonna go in talking about animals and compare it to a human neck.
Court evidence and forensic testimony identified the ammunition as a soft point. So that's a big game hunting bullet. These are intentionally designed to expand quickly on impact, dump energy into the target, and then often stop inside. This is actually why they're used for big game hunting.
Expand on impact. So are you saying a large entry wound? Because that it wasn't a large entry wound either.
Because you don't want a bullet that is going to destroy the neck or destroy the meat off of an animal. That kind of takes the point out of actually killing the animal, especially if you're using it to eat. That's the lack of explosive nature of these kind of soft point bullets is exactly why they are so commonly used and why they typically don't have an exit point, whether it's a deer's neck or whether it is a person's neck.
That's a big difference, ma'am. Miss Ma'am. A deer neck and a human's neck, two different things. You cannot sit here and say whether it's an animal's neck, a deer neck, a moose neck, or a human neck, same thing. No, it's not. Secondly, if you're going to talk about 30-06s and soft points and what they do, I can't even expect her to do this. I can't even say, Allie Beth Stuffy, elaborate, be more specific. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. She was assigned. I feel so bad for her on whoever assigned her to this duty for the day. But let's look at 30-6s, right? Shall we? Let's look at what they do. And you can see it up, wrong screen. My bad. The purpose. Whoa, I need to get this. Yo, there we go. All right, I'm back. All right. The purpose of a 30-06 soft point round is primarily for hunting medium to large game. We are not game. Okay? Medium to large game. We are very, compared to a medium to large game, excuse me, we are extremely small. Very small. Because we're talking about animals here. Large game, a moose. Okay? So we're not medium. Very small. It features an exposed lead tip surrounded by a harder metal jacket. Upon impact, the softer tip is designed to expand, a process often called mushrooming, which allows for a more efficient transfer of energy to target compared to a full metal jacket round. Soft points are commonly used for games such as deer, elk, and bear. They are often chosen by hunters because they offer a balance of controlled expansion and penetration depth. This is designed to typically provides deeper penetration than a hollow point while reducing the risk of over penetration associated with a full metal jacket. Ma'am. We would be obliterated by a soft point 30-06 if it hit us in the softest part of the neck. Okay. It's made for deeper penetration, and yet you're telling me it went right inside the softest part of Charlie's neck and it just fragged. Okay. Okay, Allie Beth. I'm not. I only want to sit here and go too hard on you because you was assigned to do this, and you don't even feel comfortable talking about this topic. So I'm gonna let you slide. I'm gonna just let you continue.
A related claim to there being no exit wound. Charlie wasn't killed by a gunshot, but by an explosive in his mic. And this claim seems to be closely related to Israel did it for some reason. On Thursday, the bullet fragments found inside Charlie's body were shown in court, contradicting the theory that an exploding mic killed him. And so you've got these fragments right there that are shown in court. Also, we don't have any evidence of his mic exploding. People who have said,
Allie Beth, we don't have any evidence that that bullet right there came from Tyler Robinson's gun. We don't have any evidence that that gun was on the roof. We don't have any evidence that that gun was even fired. So when you bring up evidence and the evidence is not really sufficient and it's not good enough, then you can't use the argument that other people don't have evidence. That's just how that works. Okay. So the bullets and frag that you just found, those little 4 pieces, you also forgot to mention that the lady that was testifying on the stand said that there were supposed to be 7 to 8 fragments, but they only sent her 4 pieces. That's a huge problem. But it was so convenient that you just forgot to mention that. Probably because it goes against your narrative. So yeah, I'm gonna let you continue.
oh, Charlie didn't typically use this mic. So again, that's another part of the conspiracy here, that the person who put the mic on Charlie was also in on his death. And so this idea that Charlie was wearing a different kind of lavalier mic, that's the kind of mic that you would place on your shirt this time, and that had some kind of explosive mechanism in it. But that's not true. If you look back at the footage of Charlie in previous campus stops, he was wearing the exact same kind of mic.
How does that make it not true? How do you know that there was nothing in his mic just because all the other stops there was nothing in his mic? Clearly, he. Oh my gosh.
Again, we've got no evidence of that whatsoever. The video, which I have unfortunately seen, that so many of you have seen, of Charlie being shot.
There is more compelling evidence that something happened with the mic than nothing happening with the mic. Okay. I'm not 100% sold on anything, any theory, but there is a lot of evidence that the mic, something happened to it. Rather it exploded, rather it was something inside of it. Weird things happened with the mic, right? So the shards, all of that. So there is evidence, but the FBI and the authorities don't care. And you don't either. Okay. So, yes, on record, there's no evidence because the FBI doesn't care about it. That's the problem. They're not weighing out all options. But just because you don't care about looking at it doesn't mean that there's no evidence at all. And just because the feds didn't present it as evidence doesn't mean you disregard somebody else doing an investigation showing that it could be evidence.
You can see his neck go that way and fall, and he falls and he slouches down. Fortunately, seen that so many of you have seen, of Charlie being shot. You can see his neck go that way and fall, and he falls and he slouches.
So that means he was shot just because his neck went that way. That automatically means he was shot because his neck went that way. What are you talking about, bro? How much did Erica pay you, Allie Beth, to come up here and humiliate yourself like this, to embarrass yourself like this?
Down. You would also have to assume that every single person.
Dan Flood was the one that pushed him out the chair, right? Charlie got the bang happened, and Charlie froze up, locked up, and you can clearly see Dan Flood come over there and dang near push him to the ground. So the bullet didn't make his neck go like that, and the bullet didn't make him fall to the ground like that. But again, it goes against their narrative. So she obviously is not open-minded to other things.
Who witnessed him being shot, every single person who was with him in the car trying to save his life, that they were also all lying about it, that all of the witnesses there who claimed that they saw him get shot and saw him fall in a way that corresponds with being shot in the neck, that they are all
There's nothing in this world that corresponds with being shot in the neck. There's no general body goes this way when you're shot in the neck. There's no general, every time you're shot in the neck, you fall to the left and die. What are you talking about? And obviously everybody in the crowd thought it was a gunshot. You can't sit here 10 months later and still use that. Everybody in the crowd thought it was a gunshot, so it must have been a gunshot. Nobody knew what was happening. That's what an investigation is for. And 10 months later, everybody's questioning now what actually happened because the gunshot thing doesn't make any sense.
lying too. That corresponds with being shot in the neck, that they are all lying too. So I just don't see any substantiation for the idea that he wasn't shot at all and that his microphone exploded.
You're ignoring it. That's why. It's not that you don't see it. It's all over the internet. You're ignoring it. And when people present it, if you do happen to look at it, you dismiss it.
There are lots of other claims. We don't have time to get into them today, but if you have a claim that you're like, I really want you to address this, I want you to talk about this, you can send it to me, you can comment, you can send a message.
Nobody in the history of the world should be DMing Allie Beth saying, can you please break down Ballistics for me? Oh my gosh, she looked like one of them folks that be on like them cooking shows on the weekend on them random channels. Just stick to that. Just stick to that. I don't know what you do for work. I know, you work for a nonprofit and it seems like all of y'all profit a lot from a nonprofit. All of y'all seem to be living quite pretty. But I don't even know what she does for work, bro. I have no idea what this woman does. Any of them. I mean, even when you pull up their profiles, I mean, yeah, they work for TPUSA, but they're conservative, but nobody really knows what they do. And somehow all of these people make so much money. All of them have podcasts that have a whole bunch of listeners, but nobody really knows what they do. And they all sit here and just talk out their neck, talk BS, and they don't know what they're talking about half the time. And it's I don't know, bro. It's disappointing. It's disappointing because instead of the almighty widow or Andrew Covid or somebody that is directly involved in this case, instead of them coming out and talking about it, they send out people like Allie Beth, where she clearly is not even enjoying this role that she was assigned to, which is her make a debunking video. They made Allie Beth do it. They made Gary do it before. Gary don't even work with TV USA. He's a contracting liar. He's contracted to lie. But they do it every now and then. Brandon Tatum, he has a TPUSA logo, so I'm gonna say he's on the TPUSA payroll. But it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing that they choose to do this versus getting on a live, which they never would. But Blake Neff, Andrew Kovac, maybe Erica too, hop on a live with Candace, somebody that knows all the facts of the case, and just have a conversation about all of the debunkings and maybe hear both sides. They're not interested in hearing both sides. That's the crazy part. And it's transferred all the way down to people like Megyn Kelly too. Megyn Kelly's not trying to hear both sides anymore. She's been a fence sitter. She just got exposed for being a fraud, for having Jack Posobiec on, but she's not interested in hearing both sides either, because if she did, she would have invited Brandy onto her show to tell her side of what she saw in the courtroom, because Brandy was there that Friday as well, along with Jack Posobiec. Instead, she brought on Jack Posobiec, that's been community noted on every platform for lying about this 4K video, And she brings him on anyway, but then brings up a tweet that Brandy said and called it strange backlash towards Jack. Jack, how do you feel about the strange backlash you received for talking about the 4K video? And she brings up Brandy's tweet, and Brandy just said, hey, I was in the courtroom. They're all lying. They're all lying. I was there. There's no 4K video. That never happened, blah, blah, blah. And Megyn Kelly said that was a strange backlash response towards Jack. She used Brandy's tweet as validating Jack's lies. That's the problem with all of these people. They're not trying to hear both sides, and it's for a reason. These people are obsessed with the outcome of everything. They're obsessed with the lone wolf. It has to be Tyler Robinson and Tyler Robinson only. Because somebody could say, bro, okay, cool, Tyler Robinson. Let's just say he did it. What if I told you that I could bring up evidence that shows that he was not alone? How are you not interested in that? You don't want to get the other 2-3 people that's with Tyler Robinson. Maybe it's 4, 5, 6. Maybe it's 7, 8, 9. Who knows? You should want everybody involved, right? Why is Erica and the prosecution team not livid at the fact that Lance Twiggs has immunity? How are they not demanding that that immunity gets lifted and he gets charged with whatever if deemed necessary? They don't care that Lance Twiggs has immunity. They don't care that he woke up at 1 p.m. so conveniently after the Big Bang. They don't care about that at all. They don't care about the receipt and the employee from the smokehouse coming out saying, I saw Tyler Robinson 100% ID'd him at 10 p.m. on 9/10, which makes it impossible for him to be in Orem. I'm stuck in Orem, my love, retrieving my rifle. I will be a little while longer yet. All of that's impossible if he was eating steak. But they don't care about that. They just want to kill a boy and give him the death sentence for something that they can't even prove that he did. But they're Christians though, right? Okay. Allie Beth's done it too. Allie Beth's going to say, if you're a Christian, you should be protecting the widow, right? You should be protecting the widow. Ben, whatever that boy name is, Ben something. He lied and did the same thing, bro. All of these people are fake Christians. TPUSA is a whole bunch of fake Christians, fake organizations. They are a huge disappointment. A huge disappointment. Whatever Charlie built has just crumbled to the ground. I don't know what this is now. This fake Christian organization that has mixed in religion and politics to manipulate the masses, to serve as a vessel for the elites, to try to manipulate all of us. But we're not going for it. And we're going to continue to keep exposing all of these people. We're going to keep our foot on their neck. We're not going to stop. We're not going to allow it either. Let me know what y'all think about Allie Beth Stuffy and everything that she said in this education lesson that we learned from her. Learned so much today from Allie Beth. I didn't take any notes. I felt like it was so detailed and great that it was just forever planted in my mind. But let me know what y'all think about Allie Beth. Leave, drop a comment. Again, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I hope y'all have a beautiful day, and I will see y'all on the next one.